Hey everybody, welcome back. We're playing some more Isaac. I know, it's been a bit. Why are we back? Well, I have too much super auto pets in the hopper, man. I got more super auto pets in the hopper than I know what to do with, than I can even shake a stick at. I mean, it's been 3+ months since I played the game. Let's just do some Isaac runs. We do have a heck of a streak. Some people might say, hey NL, why wouldn't you play as a harder character if you got a streak like this? Counterpoint, winning is fun and losing is annoying. You might be confused, by the way. Winning is fun and losing is frustrating, I guess is maybe a better way to put it. You might be confused, hey, why are stream alerts on? This is a YouTube video. I'm not streaming right now, I promise. If I was a streaming cop, I would have to tell you, sure, why not? I don't know. It's like Kramer said on Seinfeld. They're like, you kept making the stops? They kept ringing the bell. I don't know what to say. But I'm happy to be back. I was thinking about what to play, and honestly, like, we're in a weird spot where a lot of this stuff that I've been playing on Twitch that I would like to play more of on YouTube is just like schedules are not permitting right now. Like, for example, Dome Keeper, great game. Prestige mode is what I'm focused on in that right now. A good prestige mode run takes like minimum an hour and a half, 2 hours, usually more than that. So like it needs more space to breathe. Understand I am blocking the trinket, by the way. It's one of those things, you know, there's really no good place for the camera. But then I was like, I didn't overthink it too much. I just decided to record the video. I was like, should I even have the camera? In most Isaac videos, I don't have the camera. And then I was like, it feels weird to be recording without a camera. It's the way of the world, man. At first, you're like, when I first turned on Facecam, it felt long overdue. And I was like, whoa, this is weird. I can't pick my nose on camera anymore. It would be embarrassing. Or I can't pick my nose while I record anymore. That would be embarrassing. Now I'm like, geez, if I don't turn my camera on, people will think I'm picking my nose. It's funny how life hits you like that. Everything's going pretty well. If you haven't been following discourse on the Twitch side of things recently, September, October, wife got pretty ill, baby got pretty ill. Nothing serious, just, you know, classic cold and flu season type stuff. Somehow, I'm feeling strong, I'm feeling moisturized, I'm feeling hydrated and unbothered. For the first time since, like, I don't know, this summer, everybody got sick but me. Now, I don't want you to take that out of context. I don't want you to think that we're in a situation where I'm rooting for my wife and child to become ill. That's obviously not what I'm rooting for. But if they get ill, I would rather stay healthy. And for some reason, it actually, it worked out like that. I was taking a variety of pseudo-scientific immune boosters, vitamins, and as well as like vitamin C beverages that I have to feel have no like actual FDA-approved merit as medicine. I was taking an immune-boosting capsule my mom got for me, and I'm not saying it worked. What I'm saying is what mama don't know won't hurt her. And mama, in this case, is my immune system. Ooh, I still remember what some of these items do. Somehow, I mean, that's what's so great about the placebo effect, right? If you know, I mean, we've said it on stream, but there's a reason it's called the placebo effect and not the placebo thing that doesn't work, right? For it to have an effect, it has to work. The way I understand the placebo effect is that if the user believes that a medication will have an impact, they tend to report that it has an impact. I don't necessarily... it's a hard thing to explain. I know that the medication I took probably didn't have an impact, but I chose to let my lower level brain believe that, hey, like, this could work. Hey, if I'm going through the motions of taking this, it must be medicine. And I think I've tricked myself. I think I tricked myself into getting the placebo effect. I was making the placebo effect work for me, essentially. I want deals with the angel. I remember how the game's played. You know the rules, and so do I. Feels good to be back. I am a little worried that, you know, my Isaac skills are not going to be where I need them to be, but would you look at this? We're still hanging in there. Yera duplicates all pickups. Is this good? I'm just kidding. I remember. But yeah, look, I could sit here, I could put 15 Super Auto Pets videos in the hopper in case we do get ill during cold and flu season, which is, really just beginning. Or I could record something else, so we got parallel videos going out every day for a little while here. Now, do not get it twisted. This is not the return of Daily Isaac. That time has passed and is very unlikely to ever return, okay? A man has got to know his limitations. I think I've given enough to the dream there of Isaac. Now I can sit back and he's insane with it. He's gonna lose. He's gonna die. Hold on. Let's focus for a brief moment here. He's survived the room. Let's go. And I'm just gonna pick this up. Maybe we'll Yera the shop. But it's nice to have something to come back to that you can play in. We'll not be Yeraing the shop. That you can play in 30 to 60 minute bursts and get comfortable and get some banter. And plus, I'd be lying if I didn't say it's nice for. At least I feel nice that there's people out there that probably watched a lot of Isaac that are like, "Where's my Isaac?" I'm glad we broke the habit of having people expect an episode every day, because that should not have been as realistic as I let it become for as long as it lasted. There was almost 10 years of an episode every day. That's madness. That's pure insanity. I almost want to look at the odds on this one. With 4 items plus a key piece, as good as Blood of the Martyr is, I feel like the odds of us re-rolling into something much better have got to be relatively high. As good as Blood of the Martyr is, and maybe that's what happens. I've got a fresh perspective. Now I'm re-roll a damage upgrade. Do it. Now, did we get something much better? It's tough. I feel like Ladder to Heaven is better. But you need to have the money to make it work. So maybe we'll use Yera and we'll blow up our donation machine and then use Yera to get a bunch of money and then maybe be able to buy something incredible. I don't know. I'm not like the Isaac guy anymore. I don't know. I don't know everything that happens in this game. I don't know the relative values of every single item. I'm just chilling. How's life, by the way? It's good. Thank you for hypothetically asking. Let's start here. Settled into a nice groove, honestly. I feel like I'm for the first time. I don't really want to double that hard, but that's okay. For the first time, in the last 6 months, I feel like Kate and I really started to get a handle on the juggling act, the plate spinning act that is parenting a toddler. Sure, why not? Which is very pog, by the way. For a while, especially newborn life, if you've never had a kid or been around really, really young kids, newborn life is crazy. It's insanity. Tends to be harder on the mother than, on whoever's nursing at least, than on me. Then it kind of it changes over time. You have less biological responsibility, and your child gains the ability to communicate, which means there's less of a Sherlock Holmes guessing game where your words are flying by your face and you're chopping them and screwing them like a Memphis rapper trying to figure out, well, she cried, but she just ate, but I just changed her diaper, so what could it be? Diaper, dia, maybe she needs she wants daddy to go on a diet. I don't know. You're constantly playing a guessing game. But then she's learned how to communicate. You got a more you slip into a guardian role, but also more of an advisory role. You take a step back from active duty, from reheating bottles of milk in a sterilized boiler, and you start being you start shaping, instead of buying the clay, you're shaping the clay on the pottery wheel. And I think we've really settled into a nice groove with that. I've been enjoying my fatherly duties. I've been enjoying going to the park on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm excited to announce my daughter made a new friend at the park. It was very exciting. I'm not going to repeat all the bits from the stream. Don't worry. I'm sure you're like, okay, now do the bit where they talk past each other like an Amazon Alexa talking to a Google Home. No, that'll stay live only, okay? That one, I got to think of a new joke, unfortunately. It's a lot of extra work. I can't believe we haven't been hit. We should have been hit probably multiple times there. I mean, I should maybe just take my HP and go. I'm glad we didn't. We're going to get a chance at the item room. Maybe save your reroll for the stairway unless you got a compelling reason. Honestly, I would take. Let's get a little crazy with it. Let's get a little zany with it. You know why I'm here. Cactus Jack send me. Feel like, you know, 2 Saturdays ago, I took my daughter to the park. She was having a great time. And then I won't go over the whole thing. Wait, this is very good. Yes, it's good enough at least. She was pushed and fell on her bottom. She was pushed by a 2.5-year-old boy. She's 2 herself, so the boy was like twice her size. Another thing that's weird, by the way, about having a kid, I'll save this just so we can have the reroll, but is that you start to, even as an adult yourself, and I'm probably like, I don't know, above average size in terms of mass at least. I don't know about in terms of height, but in terms of mass. And I'm spiraling into many different tangents here. When I was younger, I was average height. And we would always look at people that were like older than us, like the older generation. And we would be like, wow, why are they so short? I thought we were like the terminal there. I didn't know it was going to happen to us too. Nowadays, you know, Go-Gurt didn't exist when I was a kid. Nowadays, kids are eating Go-Gurt from like age 0 onwards. They're growing up. You got 6th graders that are like 6'3". It's not fair. I've been rendered obsolete already. Hold on, let me get a quick roll here. I wish I could. I mean, these are some decent items, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather save for the future, because they're both actives, unfortunately. I guess I'd rather just take this and we'll save for the future. But when you're a parent, you start to see, because you see your own kid, that kid becomes your frame of reference for what, you know, kids are. When it happened when my daughter was a baby, I would see, like, when she's 1 month old, I would see like a 6-month-old, and I would be like, that's simply the largest person I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, that's the message my brain would send. Obviously, it makes no sense, because they're like 1/20th the size that I am, but your brain is used to seeing a certain size, and then it sees something that's 3 times bigger than that, and you go, what the heck? So this 2.5-year-old who pushed my daughter, I was like, man, he looks like Goldberg. So she was kind of like, I don't use the word too lightly. She was a little traumatized by the playground situation. And she had, you know, I made sure to talk to her about it and say things like, you know, hey, you didn't do anything wrong. You know, if that situation ever comes up in the future, first off, just talk to Daddy. Oh, wait, this is an insane item. That's going to be unbelievable for us. Talk to Daddy. Say, you know, Daddy, there's a mean boy over here. Daddy will go sort it out with that boy's parents, because unfortunately there's, you know, cultural standards that keep me from getting into a verbal altercation with another little kid. You got to let the kids handle it between themselves, but that doesn't mean you can't have a conversation with the parents and be like, you don't even have to be like, hey, can you keep your kid from, you know, hitting other kids? You just got to say something like, hey, I guess you didn't feel like parenting today, huh? Just say something like unfair and sarcastic like that. They'll get the idea. But still, she was a little traumatized by it. And then this weekend we went to the park and she made a new friend. It was a big moment. Friend was asking her all sorts of questions. You know, do you go to... My daughter's not much of a conversationalist. Even though her speaking is good, she's 2. and barely 2 at that. I think we want to re-roll that. Or I guess we could have re-rolled our item room, but whatever. What was even... Oh, it was Infestation, too. I guess we should go back, but I'm honestly not that pressed. Is there a battery charge in here, maybe? I'd love to... Well, I'm just going. I'm sending it, man. You gotta learn to love the way you play the game. Ooh! Life comes at you fast. I didn't think we would get a deal with the angel here. I had no confidence in that for myself, but now we'll get holy water. Fantastic. It would be nice to get a charge, though. because then we'd have a charge for the Stairway to Heaven. But anyway, friend was asking, you know, do you go to a daycare or do you go to a preschool? And she was saying stuff like, I'm silly, silly me, and he was going, that's not an answer. It was a great conversation. It was nice to be there. It's also nice to have conversations with other parents because it convinces you you're not crazy. Like, the kid was asking us about bouncy castles, and we're like, oh, one time our daughter went into a bouncy castle, but I lost sight of her for like 5 seconds, and then I almost went like Liam Neeson mode, jumping in there to get her out, because I'd like, it hits a part of your amygdala that I had like not used in ever. I would say that losing sight of your child, even if you're like the executive part of your brain knows that there's no way they're not in the bouncy castle, losing sight of your child feels exactly the same as when you were a kid and you lost sight of your parents. Like when you were a little kid and you were like probably not paying attention, and then you're like, ha 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 ha, ha, oh, and your mom's not anywhere to be found. That is the same feeling you get when your child, especially at that age, I guess, are out of your line of sight. And I thought maybe me having that kind of reaction was insane, but then their dad was, or her friend's dad was like, no joke, the first time he went into the bouncy castle, I actually had to go in and rescue him. I felt like a crazy person, and I was like, man, I might be crazy, but I'm not as twisted up as this guy. It was nice to get some validation, honestly. Okay, I mean, like, this run is set up, man. This run is looking nice with it. We should get as much money as possible so that we're ready for the Stairway to Heaven. We also got, that's true. We also got Empty Vessel we can work with here. So yeah, I mean, basically what's been going on is like what you see is what you get. And this is not, like, I'm not trying to farm valor or whatever. But if you have not, anything you see that shows up on the YouTube channel has been recorded or streamed. And then if whatever of my life you don't see is me on an exercise bike, me sleeping, or me doing like miscellaneous chores around the house, or possibly me playing 1 to 3 games of Overwatch 2, getting insanely salty, and then deciding that, you know what, maybe I'd rather just go to bed. Maybe it's better for me as a human being to go to bed 15 minutes before my normal bedtime than to just stay up and be angry. Takes a big man to admit that, though. I did not mean to buy the key. I literally could not see what was happening there through the flies. I think the soul is worth a purchase. Probably still would have... Oh, and we got Seraphim out of it. Okay, I'm pleased with this. We could still use some hurting power, but everything else is going real nice. Real nice indeed. I'm glad we went back for Infestation 2, by the way. Like, or Infestation. I don't say that too much. Or I didn't say that too much. I don't know. It's been a while. Could still use some killing power, though. So that's basically it. But I do feel like I'm sort of on the cusp of getting, like, some adult life back. Like, my daughter's in daycare. That's giving me a little extra time to, you know, focus on some me time type stuff. I mean, not complaining. I get like an hour a day and more on the weekends to actually get some exercise in, which is, you know, more than most people, I think, in this situation can say. So I'm very grateful for it. But I'm like, every year, like, especially it's hard because, like, the winter's coming up. When the summer's coming up, it's so easy to be hopeful. You're like, maybe this summer is going to be when I finally learn to hit the links and take up the noble sport of golf. And then it's like September, and I'm like, I guess not. Maybe next year. I'm scared, man, because, like, today was maybe the first day where I really noticed the sun was going down super early. Or the coming up super late, I guess I should say. As I woke up, I always wake up around 7 a.m. It was still dim. You know, in July, when you wake up at 7 a.m., the sun is like a puppy. It's like, well, hey, you're finally up. What have you been waiting for? Look, I'm ready to go. I'm just rolling. Oh, I'm thrilled, man. When you wake up at 7 a.m., even though it's only like mid-October, Waking up at 7 a.m. in mid-October is like, you know, waking up in your college house. You could get up, if you get up at 7 a.m., people are like, what's the rush, dude? Or sorry, the sun is like, what's the rush, dude? Dude, you had a late night last night. No, you didn't. You went to bed at like 5:45. Yeah, but it wasn't a very restful sleep, my brother. You know, it's, and it only gets, the worst is the day of daylight savings. Like, or when daylight savings, why do I forget this every year? It's either the day it starts or the day it ends. When you fall back, that's the worst. It's nice because you get an extra hour of sleep, but it's also like, I mean, I think everyone will reach a point in their life. And I'm guilty of it too. I loved falling back. I thought springing forward was the worst. The older you get, and especially I think if you got a kid, the more you realize that they both kind of suck. Falling back is nice because you get an extra hour of sleep. But literally the next night, you're like, it's 4:30 p.m. and the sun's starting to go down already? What's up with that? Springing forward sucks because you lose an hour of sleep. But from that point onwards, this is a really good one. That's a really good pill. Thank you if I could just pick that up. From that point onwards, at least the days, I mean, technically, you know, Neil deGrasse Tyson voice, the days don't actually get any longer. The days retain an almost consistent length, proportional to the spin of the Earth's rotation on its axis. But no, I'm saving. You get what I mean. You know, the proportion of day that you're awake that's in sun is greater as a result. I will take active contrition. And then, like, do I still have a key piece available here? I think I do. Have I burned red stew already? I haven't been, you know, acting as urgently as I sometimes do. Ooh! A little holy brim? Can't really complain about that. A little salvation for you. Is that what it's called? I don't remember. But man, I'm like, I don't even want to look it up. I don't even have morbid curiosity about when daylight savings time is ending or starting, whichever one it is, because I don't want to know. Just let me live in peace right now. I'm already noticing the days getting shorter. I don't want to wish the time away, you know? Peach's voice, wish the time away. Wish the time away. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe, probably several, yeah, I would imagine so. Anyway. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the usual stuff. Blah, 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 I have a kid, blah, 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 daylight savings, blah, 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 you missed the item room, me pretending I'm mad I missed the item room, but actually I'm happy because on a curse of the I can't tell where I'm going, I managed to find the boss. That's well worth the loss of one item in my opinion. We're getting so lucky with deals, even if they're not always the deals that I'm hotly requesting. I don't think we're gonna have enough gold here, but you know what? As long as we never pick up the other key piece, we don't have to worry about whether or not we have enough gold, because we'll always get a free item just by killing the angel. And we do have a, oh my god, it's perfect, the mind. It's a terrible thing to waste, but picking it up is based, as I've always said, then immediately ignoring it to walk in a different direction. Soul of Isaac makes all pedestals something, don't mind if I do. I think we should save the Yera rune. It's just, like, we got enough rerolls for right now. I feel like the Yera rune is positive for us, or sorry, the black rune, because we can use it on the chest. Wait, were we holding a Yera recently? Dad's starting to forget what he was doing on the run again. No, but that's basically it. I don't mind the winter time. And in Vancouver, it really, like, it's hard to complain. It rains a lot, but it hasn't rained, like, at all in months. To the extent that we still have, like, forest fire smoke kind of blanketing the city in mid to late October here. But it's going to start soon, and it's going to stay for, like, months. We're going to forget about what the sun was like. We're going to forget about how it felt when the sun touched your forearms and gave you a little kiss, you know, and tanned you a little bit. I always say, like, every year, by the end of the winter, I have forgotten that weather could ever be nice. And by the end of the summer, I always forget that weather could ever have been bad. But I can't really complain, given that I live in like one of the most mild climates on planet Earth, okay? But I just wish the sun wasn't so lazy. Does like Kim Kardashian, in many ways she was right. People don't want to work these days. The only thing she needed to do was extend it a little further. It's not just people, it's also celestial bodies governed by the law of nuclear fusion, you know? I can't blow you up, which is a shame. Well, maybe I'll get I don't know. I'd like to get Genesis. The problem is we can't get back in here, right? So, like, I really need you to pay out with, like, $1 bill or something for me to afford it. But I can't be mad in the slightest about all the spending I've done on this run. You know, I think we've gotten largely very good items. It's hard to be upset. It's a nice little welcome back, I'll tell you that much. And I know, can I tell you something? You wanna hear behind the curtain here for Isaac? Am I missing stuff? Well, in the immortal words of Peter from Office Space, I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob. If you find yourself going, hey, you left a pill on the ground, imagine if you took PhD, your speed, complains about the run taking so long, yet doesn't take PhD, and those could have been speed up pills on the ground. I'm here to, if it makes you feel good to leave the comment, go ahead. But if you're leaving the comment under the pretense that possibly I'm ever going to become a perfect Isaac player, I promise you that train, it never even entered the station in the first place, but it is simultaneously, even though it breaks the metaphor, it has also departed the station long ago. I've realized in my relative advanced age, as far as YouTubing goes, best thing we could do, my personal opinion, best thing we could do, for us, that is, play Isaac in the most fun way. Leads to more fun content, leads to more good banter. You simply cannot afford it and have no bombs. And in all likelihood is liable to lead to more content as well. Because if it's fun to do, then you tend to do more of it. It's been nice to return, though. Again, don't get attached. As Robert De Niro, as Macaulay says in Heat, never let yourself get close to anything that you wouldn't leave in 30 seconds if you feel the heat at your door. That being said, maybe that's a little melodramatic for an Isaac episode. I don't know if there will be one tomorrow. There may be. Depends. I got 57 minutes till daycare. Daycare pickup, I should say. I'm excited. We're making crafts today. I'm just joking. They make crafts every day. I'm not. The joke was that I would be the person going to daycare, not my child. Honestly, though, going to daycare sounds kind of sick. Someone prepares your meals. They plan cool activities for you. You go to the library, you make arts and crafts and stuff, you sing songs, you get to hang out with like your 3 best friends every day. That sounds cool, man. We should just let adults live like that too. It's like, you know, like a minimum security prison, but like without having to commit a crime first. Something like that. Alright, yeah, we're not going to go fight Delirium here. Why? Look, we're having a good time here. Why ruin it by trying to fight Delirium? Don't make me laugh. I don't know. What am I doing up here? It's... I gotta say, that's pretty good. It's a little too risky for my blood. That's pretty good. I think we gotta hand it to the Sacred Orb, man. Sacred Orb did some incredible work for us this run. We got great item selection. The run's not quite as zany as I would have liked. That's my only negative right now. It's a little bit light on the zaniness, but the power level is... Wait a minute, what happened to my HP? Why is my HP... Wait, no, it's good my HP is all bones. Because if we take damage, then we get the permanent Tears upgrade. Although I'm mostly not even really using my Tears upgrade. I'm mostly saving my shots until the beam is ready as well. Which is a little stinky, but it feels like might be the right idea to begin with. Probably should have used Black Rune back there, especially after talking for so long about how good and important it is. Oh, I got heals, or I got invincibility. I should just pretend that this has been like the toughest run of my whole life. Man, this is, I can't believe... Edmund, first run back in forever, you're going to give me something like this? Just when I thought you couldn't be any sillier, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself. Don't. You ever wonder if 10 years of playing this game on keyboard and mouse has like long-term implications on the health and wellness of the tendons in my hands? All those tendons and little bones and stuff like that? Stuff you start to think of as you get older. I'm telling you. I never thought I would be the guy who's like, hey, turn your music down. I'm not saying turn your music down like it's disrupting me, but I mean like turn the music down in your noise-canceling Bluetooth headphones. You're going to give yourself tinnitus. And then you're going to be in my chat, and for the next 10 years, you're going to be like, NL, don't make fun of tinnitus. I've got tinnitus. And I'm going to be like, I'm the person who told you to turn your music down, you know? But I guess it's the curse of youth to always be wasted on the young, myself included, of course. When you're young, you're like, I simply won't get tinnitus. I'll simply take no preventative behavior whatsoever. I'll take no preventative measures. I'll simply not get tinnitus because I'm built differently. And then you get tinnitus. And then, you know, you just go, well, crap. The end. Now, I'll tell you, even when I'm on a hardcore Peloton ride, like when I'm on a 30-minute Cody Rigsby ride and Kim Petras' song Throat Goat comes on, my brain is like, crank it. But then another part of my brain is like, no, keep the volume at a reasonable level. Kim Petras might be the throat goat, but that's not, well, some former first ladies apparently have something to say about that, according to what I've read online. But I don't know how true that, I don't know if that's been fact-checked by Snopes. But either way, it's not worth the long-term hearing loss. It's not worth having to go, huh? Every time someone says something. Or maybe it is. I don't know. It might be if you PB'd. Those are kind of hard to come by these days. Either way, thanks for watching. Feels nice to be back. Hope you've enjoyed Return to Isaac. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. Let me know you want to see more of it. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Or in the past, for that matter. And I'll see you next time. See ya.